it is nowadays. Listen, how's the construction coming along in the house?
Really good.
I forgot to ask you, I drove by there, I want to see, it was, God, the day before the holidays, I want to see. And I remember, I was cutting through that neighborhood to get to, Brenton Plaza.
Don't cut through. Just use the roads, like the normal roads.
I think there was something going on with Bill Berry.
Sure.
Through there. And then I remember the house just from dropping something off 3 years ago. And, second story, right?
Yeah.
Was it over the garage?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, what contract do you do?
Sutherland Home,
Okay, yeah.
really good.
We've been talking about doing something on our plates that. So I meant to ask you what you thought about the contract.
Really good.
Okay. No, we're going into it?
No,
Okay.
I just got referrals from people that know me. They said they're the only group I could probably stand, and
I was gonna say, how many,
after I interviewed, I think they're right.
that's exactly what I was gonna ask you. How many of them backed out once they found out that they were dealing with 2 architects?
With a couple of them. It's like,
They didn't, but they didn't see it.
yeah.
All right. It sounds.
The presentation's in your packet, so if you want, if you can, but our presenters not even here. I think they're.
They're here, they're just in the line. I'll
We have more.
I'll go get them. I was just waiting. So, you gave me the green light.
Yeah. They're welcome.
Okay, no problem, I'll go get them.
Listen, what school are the kids gonna
You
go
wanna
to?
wait for Cedric or?
You know, it starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Or D.
Okay, or do you want me to go?
I'll go get Sandra.
Okay.
Who are our seniors? Are we up here? Yeah, just about a minute. Things fine. On the last name of the time. You, Ray, Dustin, Ryan. Oh, they're long, that's why I didn't see it. Sean, and Casey, and no, no longer Casey, and no Mark. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see
They
you.
have,
That's it.
they have.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Yes, I remember.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Jennifer Helen. I'm Courtney. Courtney. Hi, Kathy Durkee.
Right.
You can do that.
Huh?
You can do that.
Well, maybe she wants to see who people are. She knows she's not presenting out here.
I know. Yeah, they should be what.
Oh, I forgot to get that.
I'll go get them. I said, you were on. Yes, I know.
I did not. I stayed and. I did this peanut thing where they have.
Yes. Sunday morning. And woke up with the office. Picture is down. Picture.
So what, so they have different slots with the space. Yeah, business. Citizen.
That's why they were sweet.
And you run it through like.
We do, we do it with our nonprofit. Yes. See.
Nobody was.
And it's now.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but I exactly that.
Yes.
Number of arrests and whatnot.
No, that's totally, yeah.
That's what I was in there trying to. Spot on. Still. And
It was under 20,
yeah,
whatever it was.
Doesn't you go to the parade?
into the children's parade.
Oh, yeah. Have you built the float yet?
No, I have not been to the adult parade in years.
Did you build something for the boys?
No.
I don't know. How it is.
He's been busy building affordable housing.
Right, yes. Not just-
In his own house. We can start. You guys are ready.
You want to put a show for you first? Easel issue.
No problem, no problem. But we have quorum, so we can actually start the meeting. That's you, Mary.
We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 5:32. Start with roll call. Dustin Pastor,
Here.
Dave Long.
Here.
Brian Meisner,
Here.
John Barrow Eden.
Here.
Mar is absent and I am present. Next on the agenda is public comment.
No one is online. And Nicole, you wanted to introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, and go ahead, Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Winkler. I'm new to all of this. I'm one of the co-founders of Oktoberfest Tampa downtown. We're celebrating 17 years and happy to be here.
So she's joining, is hopefully joining the CAC after the February 12th CRA board meeting. Once her application is approved. And then we can say who we are. Go ahead.
Good evening, Cedric McCray, Tampa's CRA Director. Good to see everyone.
Good evening, I'm Keisha Newsom, I'm the project coordinator. CR.
I'm Courtney Orr, I'm the CRA development manager.
Hi, Michelle Smith. I'm the president and CEO of the Tampa Arts Alliance.
Andy George, Chair of the Tampa Arts Alliance.
Jennifer Millen, Vice Chair. Kathy Durden, Secretary Treasurer.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Next on the agenda, we have approval of our November 2025 minutes. We get a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Dustin,
Second that.
Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes from our November 2025 meeting have passed unanimously. Next on the agenda is the Tampa Arts Alliance with a presentation for us.
Thank you. Is the presentation going to be on? It's in.
I mean, that's I'll do my quick introduction and then. Okay, good evening, everyone. Keisha Newsom, I'm the project coordinator that's working on this project. In your package, you received copy of the special projects request for the Tampa Arts Alliance Downtown Renovations. We'll go ahead and let Michelle do her presentation, and once she's done, I'll come back and let you guys know what staff recommendations are.
First, thank you so much, Tampa CRA, for this opportunity to share a project that we're extremely excited about. And just as a header getting into the topic of the need for this downtown center, we wanted to share with you a visual of the arts and cultural spaces in Tampa that we mapped out. We have 200 Tampa places to go visit, including it's actually 14 museum now, dozens and dozens of artist studios, galleries, independent bookstores, and places of education to study the arts. So when we mapped all of this out, we really looked at the density of where the arts were, and there's three districts that popped up in Uptown, Ybor City, and Downtown. And Downtown has the biggest concentration and the most investment in the arts. It's a wonderful place to be anchored because there's a lot of anchor institutions that you all have really helped to put on the map and to make sure that they are really leading our local creative economy here. But also the greatest density of population. According to the Downtown Partnership, we have over 65,000 workers, 25,000 residents, and millions of people walking up and down the street. So when this opportunity became available, we definitely pursued it very strongly. So as you'll see in your packet, Farley White Insurance, they own the building right outside the window there. That fifth third tower. And there is a first floor space, 5,000 square feet, that they are willing to donate $0 to be a cultural hub to showcase the local arts here. And our proposal to them was specifically to focus on the local arts because we want to have a maximum income impact on the creative economy within Tampa. So that space is what we're asking for funds to help build out. The lease is dependent upon our ability to show what we're going to be doing there and the community engagement. We've had significant response from the community in support of the Art Center. And this is just another way of being able to shore up that response and also showcase what the CRA does. We provide tremendous value for the investment. We're asking for $700,000. And for that, you're building a showcase, really, where that's going to affect hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of local artists here who live and work in Tampa. So I'll just go through the packet real quick and just highlight 3 quick things as it relates to the CRP and how it really aligns with the vision and everything that you've created for infrastructure building within downtown. So first of all, we want to showcase the regional talent, like we mentioned, focusing on the artists that live and work in Tampa, making sure they have a spot to be seen and a spot to convene. We also have a number of nonprofits and displaced organizations, a way to kind of come together in the center of downtown, right next to the lawmakers from municipalities, the economic engines like Visit Tampa Bay, right across the street, the chamber, etc. We're going to connect and represent the arts ecosystem. So really being the heartbeat of all of this, bringing people into the space since we have the density and actually we're on the corner of Main and Main, really in downtown, right across from like Gaslight Park. And then pumping people out into the rest of the city as well and activating throughout downtown to make sure that our local businesses are supported. That's one of our big goals. So in addition to the physical space, we're also working with our partners in the partnership, Visit Tampa Bay and others to activate the public parks as part of our term in there. So activating like Gaslight Park, activating Poe Plaza. And you'll see in your packet an example of an activation that we collaborate with Visit Tampa Bay on, where we had Tampa City Ballet come and perform a Nutcracker outside. It was amazing in the middle of the day. We had an art market and we had live painters, 12 live painters presenting murals. So it's a great way to instill a sense of ownership for the vitality of downtown. And then lastly, create experiences that endear the arts. So we, and everybody in this room really gets how important the arts are to our way of life, but it's really not a thing, it's how we live. It's a part of our culture. It has been in Tampa for the inception of Tampa, be it in the beautiful theaters that were built in the social clubs or along Central Avenue. It's been a part of our resilience. It's been a part of the way we interact with each other, and we want to preserve that here in downtown. So in line with the CRP, we're looking at goal number LUED2, which attracting visitors and cultural tourism to stimulate businesses in downtown while supporting legacy institutions. We're partnering with the Tampa Museum of Art, with the Tampa Theater, with the STRAS, making sure that we have that kind of cross collaboration and helping also for them to source their local programs. They're beginning to explore more and more our local artists here, and they need a connector, and we intend to be that for them. Looking at PSQ goal number 1, quality of life and community engagement. That's definitely welcome. Something that we intend to create with the center is improving the quality of life and engaging more of our neighbors with each other and having really this beautiful space of connection for humanity. That's really at the base of our goal. The arts are a connector, they're an equalizer, and they're a spot for us all to connect with the community. And then also PSQ goal number 3, activating public space is actually a part of our agreement with the landlords for this space. So I think that's my 5 minutes. Thank you. Have you seen your packets? There's just a couple more pictures of what you can expect when you go in, and it explains a little bit about how these capital improvements improve the space.
What does your agreement with the building owner look like? Is it a lease
Yes.
What's the term on the lease? You know?
Yes, it's a 5-year, $0 lease. And it is extendable, but we also are both being cautious to make sure that this is a project that has community buy-in, which is very quickly demonstrating. So the lease owners have also talked about the idea of putting a cafe in the space and investing more into it.
Okay, and then what is have you gotten into talks about what the termination clause looks like? What I'm getting after is if you're gonna put that much money in, 1.4 million, what guarantee do you have on the space and they can't take it from you for some reason?
Well, I'll let our lawyer talk about that, but I will mention 2 quick things. First of all, the value of the lease term is 1.2 million. They're making a significant investment in us. So it's not like we are coming in and using all of our funds and neighborhood funds to build this. They are also equally with us in that. And the termination clause, Andy can speak to that, but it is renewable and we've talked about another 10 years.
Yes, so there's an initial threshold as a precondition for the lease that we demonstrate amendments, funding, to do the build out. So that partially would be this and private funding that would be, that would close the gap to meet that threshold, which I believe we have until May 1st to show that, to demonstrate that. And then as Michelle mentioned, it's a 3-year lease, the 3-year, or I'm sorry, it's a 5-year lease with an option to renew for 5 years.
But let's say they want to terminate after 2 years. Do you have some way to recoup the money that you've put in that they owe you because you didn't reach full term? Trying to prevent a scenario where you have to vacate and leave some money behind.
I see. Yeah, they don't have a unilateral right to terminate after 2 years,
Okay.
if that's your concern. I mean, if there's
Most leases have some sort of termination clause, so we check that.
or default. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have, I think they may have a 3-year.
That's for the full term.
It's for the full term.
Okay,
And we don't have anything really to default on it, so.
okay.
Yeah, but to be clear, yeah, they don't have a unilateral right to terminate before that 5 years is up.
Good.
Do you know where the remaining 700,000 is gonna come from?
From the community, we have a number of grant applications that are in, and then we're starting to receive funds from the community as well. So we're receiving funds from corporations, from foundations, and from independent philanthropy and donors. And we'll be able to announce those names in March. But for now, we'd rather this is our main building block in the sense of not just the funding. It's not only that, it's the fact that you all are incredibly knowledgeable on what it takes to build community and what it takes to build a downtown. And we wanted that vote of confidence and that understanding from the community as well as our community partners. With the different agencies here, we wanted to get them fully on board and then be able to announce it all at once in March. So we can begin start construction and moving along by the 1st of May.
What does your staffing model and hours look like?
Right now, we have 2 staff members, so myself and another full-time curator position. And we're keeping it lean. Our operating costs, once we're in the building, is $300,000 a year, which is incredibly lean for what we're going to be producing. But we have been operating very lean for the past 5 years, so we're very confident in our ability. We wanted to put everything up front so that come what may over the next 5 years, regardless of the climate of the economy and politics or anything else, that we have a very solid footing for continuing to deliver to the community.
And what hours are you thinking you would probably be open? Is it gonna be for specific exhibits or is it gonna be open regular business hours?
Regular business hours are in line with the building. They open at 6:15 and close at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And so our hours are going to be somewhere in the middle there. But we do have access and encouragement from the building to utilize as a community space throughout the year. So we have a number of partners like Gasville Festival of the Arts, like other spaces who would like to have convenings or meetings. And as long as we have some notice there, that could not only be an extra source of income to sustain our operations, but again, it serves it as a community hub.
The next question is, what are your sources of income? Is it hosting events? Selling art from the
There will be, our main model doesn't operate on the sales of art, because of the fact that we are tending to and nurturing emerging artists and mid-career artists. So the dollar amounts assigned to those pieces may not be huge. So we're not pending all of our growth on that. How we have been operating for the past 5 years have been philanthropic dollars, have been contracts with the city, with the county, to really supplement their arts programs, and will continue to operate in that way. And then everything else is extra. So along the way, with your feedback and with feedback from the community, we may find other options for leveraging what we have as a physical space, as well as our talent. But we'll explore that. What we're operating with now is the assumption of what we know we can produce, and we have a track record.
Would you intend to be the host events here, like ULI or some organization wants to have a breakfast here, you'll be able to participate in that too.
Absolutely. We worked with ULI. We helped to establish their Art in Place program, with Keith Reminger and Taylor Ralph and Lee. So we absolutely intend to be able to have a stimuli breakfast or two, but hopefully we can extend it out to programming as well, because they have a strong interest in activating and using and building their programming even more. So there's some good synergy with that. Same thing with commercial real estate women. We're going to work, within our capacity, but that's definitely a value add to the project.
It's consistent with our mission as well. I mean, it wouldn't just be like in that space that we would offer to, I don't envision that. It would be events that are consistent with our mission and mission of the space to highlight local artists, convene arts and arts supporters and facilities.
But not really open for weddings and whatnot.
Right, that's all I was trying to.
You're gonna turn down a wedding?
We'll cross that bridge.
Yeah.
It's not the intended short list. Again, I just wanted to emphasize the value for the investment. And we have a track record that way. Not only are we going to use this to really make a huge impact for local artists and the local economy. Traditionally, our operating budget always puts back at least 20% to 30% directly to artists, which helps to keep things going. But also, we really love on our partners. So whenever we're in the press, whenever we have an opportunity to share about those who have supported us, we like to put that forward because we believe that Tampa is a fantastic model for community building, for cultural building, and want more people to see what we have to offer.
So does anyone else have any questions they want to ask Michelle before I go into the?
I just want to confirm that 1.4 million is entirely related to construction and the build out of the space, is that correct?
Yes. Of course, we're going to work to make sure that we leverage everything we can. So, but we did want to account for supply chain issues and all the other stuff with construction. But our goal is to keep everything as lean as possible.
And that 1.4, that includes all costs and. fees or-
There's it's related to for the special projects.
Yeah, the special projects can only fund our costs.
Correct.
And it is reimbursable.
Correct.
So you have to raise the 1.4 million, pay for it, and then get reimbursed.
Anyone else have any questions for Michelle before I go into the staff
Why
recommendation?
don't you go into it and then we'll see.
Inside of your packet, there is a memo that shows the breakdown of what the project cost is, the funding requested amount, and the staff recommendation. The project cost is 1.4 million. Staff is going to recommend 700,000. The reason why we're recommending the 700,000 is because according to our commercial projects policy, commercial grants policy, we ask that we recommend that you, get a plan of what the projected cost of the project is going to be. As you can see in your packet, the funding request is for $1 million. So have options here. You can go with what staff recommends, which is the 700,000. You can also go with what the funding request amount is, which is the $1 million. But just know that if you do recommend the $1 million, we also have to recommend an RFP waiver. That's according to our policy. The RFP waiver is going to be required for anything $1 million or above. Or you can just go with whatever your recommendation is.
I'm sorry, can you explain what that RFP waiver is?
The RFP waiver is required anytime your, the dollar amount is $1 million or greater.
So you're saying you would require an RFP?
We would, if
Yeah.
if your recommendation is for the $1 million that the funding request is for.
We wouldn't require an RFP, we would be waiving that
Right.
requirement.
Right.
We could waive the requirement of an RFP.
Yes.
Courtney, can you help us figure out how we would fund this? When I look at the budget here, it looks like we're projecting to lose $64 million this year.
No, the ending balance
It doesn't seem right.
for 26 is 8 million.
Yeah, no,
We cut
it's
that.
8 million, but it's 72 million today, so it's losing 64 million this year to get to 8 million, right?
Yeah, but it all balances out because not all the money actually gets expended. So it's accounted for, but it's likely to not all get expended, so it will roll over. So leaving that funding or ending fund balance at 8. So we're in the black at the end of the day, once we know what, is actually goes out. Because we have monies in there that haven't, like the Tampa Theater, they could ask for it. It's unlikely that they're gonna ask for the full multi-million dollars that we have in the cash flow. So we anticipate that rolling over.
I think didn't we stipulate that the payments for the projects like that followed a certain cash flow? But they can't request it forward without going back and modifying that approval.
Yeah, so we actually have it scheduled out so many fiscal years.
Right.
So,
I don't know if we always do that, but it seems like most of those multi-year, we were specific in stipulating how many dollars each year for that purpose, so they can't
yeah,
just
yeah.
request it all.
So like Strauss is over 5 in
Yeah.
the fiscal year, so they couldn't, unless they haven't asked for reimbursement of the first 5, that 5, a portion of it or all of it rolls to the next year. So say then they have $10 million, so they could actually request more in one fiscal year if they didn't take any from the previous fiscal year.
Yeah. So where would we fund this request from? Infrastructure and capital?
Yeah, so a portion of that, I was going to recommend that a portion come from neighborhood infrastructure. And then I thought downtown art projects made a lot of sense because there's nothing obligated for downtown art projects. That's been rolling year to year. And I talked with Corey, our CRA arts coordinator, and he doesn't have any projections to use that 311. So he said that was fine to utilize the 311 from downtown art projects and then the remaining amount from neighborhood infrastructure.
We have 2 million earmarked for special projects grants, so it wouldn't fit small under that, or because it could be taken from others or just.
That's actually for the commercial special projects.
This is not a commercial special project grant.
It wouldn't be considered, no. No.
That's what a special projects grant.
It is, but it's a different bucket. The special project is the commercial grants team. It's a separate team.
Is that because they're a nonprofit?
No.
Is that a distinction?
No, it's because the special projects funding, this request comes typically from the infrastructure bucket of monies.
Yeah, and we're trying to establish it in line item, so we haven't yet established that. We did it for the commercial grants. So that's why you'll see, under redevelopment investment, those are the commercial grants specifically. And so we have exterior and interior and the special projects grant program line item. So we did carve those out. And we haven't carved that out for Melissa, Kisa, this team, but we need to do that. And start establishing its own line item under infrastructure for these projects. So that's why for now, we're just we're reprogramming monies to accommodate these requests until we have its own special line item.
And that's a good question. We're gonna be having conversations on a workshop with the board in the next month or so to kind of create that line item because it is somewhat confusing to your point. So it'll be clear. So thank you for pointing that out.
Apparently it's a vacant space. Was there something there previously? Or-
Yeah, so it's occupied by, both sides are occupied by the bank. And so,
Good, sir.
so there's an actual, the branch, so they're still on top of it, but there is an actual vault that's in the space that we're turning into a wellness space, called safe.
You're just gonna keep the vault there?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are expensive. I'll take it. I can do that one.
And that works in our favor for actually getting the space.
You won't get cell phone signal in there though.
Correct.
So didn't you say the shop is almost gonna be like a meditation room?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can say one of our doctors, is a very much, an advocate of wellness, and we met today and they were completely supportive of safe and the space for workers and residents to come in for some nervous system regulation and all of them is in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have had conversations with Chief Urquhart and, it's Crystal Schreiber, I love her. About working more and more with the TPD and just having with like cross energy. So we look forward to that community partnership as well.
Yeah, and this is our captain, by the way.
We vote.
Yeah, so it sounds like the decision is up to you. The amount.
To make a motion, the amount.
You confident that you can bring it, if we approve the 700, you're confident you can bring it to 700?
Remember that if you come back and ask for more money later, say, we asked you to. That's why you asked. You're gonna type it into the minutes.
Does yours also have a waiting period of 5 years or?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so they couldn't come back for 5 years, so.
Yeah, we know, but
Can I just ask one more question with regards to the budget? Does your budget include contingencies, so for example, for escalating construction costs over the next X months, you know?
Yes. Yes, it does include that. So there is a chance that we won't need the full 700. That's what we're hoping for because we don't want to come, we know we can't come back. We're going to be very mindful of every penny, making sure that we represent our dollar well. But we did include contingencies for the tariffs, ups and downs and all that kind of stuff. Make sure we get the job done.
I like that this isn't us who came up with that. We worked closely with Beck to land on their list of members.
And very generous, great partners pull in on this support.
Question? The motion?
I didn't realize Beck's involved. My wife works at Beck, so I should disclose that. Wasn't aware of this project. I don't think she works on these kind of projects, but I should disclose that.
I will say in terms of Dustin's ability to vote, for example, I don't feel as though there's a conflict of interest because she does not work on this type of project.
So healthcare.
Yeah, I hope she didn't lobby you on this.
I didn't even know.
I really love the arts.
I really didn't think you said that.
Becca's everywhere. so-
I think they work in the hospital for me too.
I would like to make a motion to recommend that we award the $700,000 grant to the Arts Alliance for this project.
I would second that motion.
So we have a $700,000 funding motion for the Tampa Arts Alliance Downtown Center from Sean Bear Whedon, a second by Ray Wong. All in favor?
Can I ask you to adjust that motion, please, to, which line items you're taking funding from?
Yes. So do we need to talk about that? Do we need to give you amounts from which two line items?
Yeah, I
Are we
would
going
say-
to Split, or are we just gonna use the whole 300 from downtown?
Or I'd say maybe do 300, leave 11,000. Corey has a statute that comes up. And then maybe just do an even 300,000 from downtown art projects and the remaining from neighborhood infrastructure.
Right.
Downtown.
So that would be 300 of the 700, 300,000 would come from the infrastructure and capital projects, downtown art project line item. And the other
Reversed. 300,
300,000
yeah, from art.
downtown art projects and 400,000 from neighborhood infrastructure capital improvement projects. I was reading Roman numeral 6. And giving you the line.
All right, so I've got that.
All right, so we have to vote now. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you for your confidence. You have my contact information. If anybody wants to come over into the space, I'm happy to do a tour. We really appreciate it, and we're gonna make sure that we stay lockstep with your recommendations and with council and the advisory board to make sure we deliver a great project. To live up to your confidence. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you. Very much. Thank you. You want to let Yucelia?
Yeah, if you have anything.
Well, I just wanted to touch base, basically making all of my rounds to everywhere, especially after Gasparilla, we survived food. So ninth grade, obviously, before, but, for downtown, we're looking pretty good. We did touch base with signal security, this week. We made, a lot of contacts, obviously, with our quarterly meeting for, our unhoused individuals and all the concerns and everything, collectively that the city is putting together of all the resources to get, a lot of this stuff that we've obviously heard, addressed on different meetings, a lot of different meetings that their concerns are. So, trying to basically pull as many resources as possible to, get them housed. Obviously, we want to try to, that's our main goal as of right now, but of course, we still have to deal with the other criminal aspects of it. And when we see the narcotics and things like that, we're gonna have to deal with that accordingly. If it's Marchman Act material, meaning that they're not able to take care of themselves or that neglect or harm to someone else, then obviously we have to deal with those situations appropriately as well. But we do have extra resources that we've aligned for this year for our new deployment. I have a new set of officers that are classified as our homeless liaisons. There's 4 of them, 2 basically on each cycle. So now it's gonna be 7 days a week that we're gonna have coverage. And so basically anything that you guys come across or any issues that you guys hear about or know about, stuff like that, obviously I'm all ears because we, want to be able to direct our resources in the appropriate areas and try to, like I said, get as many housed. That's our goal. That way our quality of life issues kind of come down. And it's anywhere from what you guys have heard before. We've talked about this, previously, but like, the urination of public all the way to, somebody being battered in the park. That was, something that obviously happened this past year. Luckily, my officers were right there and were able to stop the actual threat and be able to make the arrest.
Was it random?
It was, yes, it was random. The person was under the influence of some kind of narcotic, unfortunately, and, sometimes things escalate. It's a fragile, situation, right, where we're at. So, but we do have to handle it. We can't have victimization occur. So, I know of main issues like, under, Tampa Convention Center in the tunnel, that for some reason that's been new, that's just starting to show up again. And then USF Park, which has been ongoing. So my guys are definitely working in there. I have plainclothes guys that are doing, narcotics deals in certain areas. Obviously, I can't disclose those kind of things, but they are working. So sometimes you might see it overtly, and then sometimes you guys don't see it at all. But usually, if you touch base, Mary Beth always reaches out. Obviously, important you can reach out. I'll let you know, like, hey, yeah, don't worry, we have an investigation going on, stuff like that. I'm at least willing to give, some information so you guys don't feel blind that you don't know what's going on or that we're not working, because we are working diligently. So, let me see. So after, all right, we got through the Gasparilla, we got through New Year's Eve. I did address some of the issues that came up for New Year's Eve. I understand that there was like quality of life issues that were popping up. Unfortunately, New Year's Eve was insane. So my guys were dealing more with a bunch of juveniles that were in Curtis Nixon Park that were actually shooting Roman candles into crowds. So to avoid people getting actually burned or injured, that's what they were doing, was chasing them around literally on repeats all throughout the entire park. We ended up arresting about 5 juveniles, calling their parents for some of them, and then putting them through a diversion program, because that's what we're required to do, especially when they don't have any. They were shooting them off in the garages. I mean, it was what I would consider off the chain. So I just say, we did the best that we could, but unfortunately at those times our resources are going to be utilized for more of injury or avoidance of injury versus the quality of life stuff. So I do apologize, but it's just the amount of people. It was an influx of 1,000 people easy, and 500 of them were the juvies that we were chasing around. It was a little crazy. I was here, so I know, I witnessed it, was part of some of it. So,
When you say quality of life, you mean like noise?
quality of life includes like noise, the bicyclists that are like aggressively attacking people, right? I'm talking about the ones that doing the wheelies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. The urination in public, defecation, stuff like that. Those are what we call, we consider quality of life. So
We had some complaints, people posting up on the river walk that they're.
oh yes, that was another one. Yeah. So, and that's, just so I always like to educate, because legal definitely flips our wings a lot. We have a play box and we have to play within those rules. So, but one of those is for the sound and amplified sound and stuff like that. It does affect a lot of patrons that are trying to, hang out at ukuleles or like armature, stuff like that. So I guess there were some that was on amplified speakers. So there are little stipulations, right? So people think, oh, it's amplified, so it should be something that we can cover. Unfortunately, it has to, the ordinance specifically states that it can't be mobile, right? So if it's a bullhorn or something like that, then I can't actually enforce it, which is tragic, obviously, but that's something for you guys to bring to, or constituents bring up to city council to reconsider the ordinance change and stuff like that. So there are other things like for downtown Franklin Street, my bars that I continuously have to deal with. They also, we talked about having ordinance changes for them allowing queued lines, because it's basically a free for all and they take over the sidewalks and streets, and it's starting to become a hindrance, the element across the street. I get numerous complaints from them about it. So there are some things that I have to do on my part, law enforcement wise, for operations more undercover, just to be able to kind of deal with it differently, So I'll keep working on it. It's just it's a little bit more difficult than I hoped for originally. So
Comment, my office overlooks Ashley, and this is entirely anecdotal, but it feels as though, and I don't know if it's street racing or just loud cars, but it feels like over the last year, that has gotten worse. And I don't actually see a car racing. I don't know if it is in fact street racing, but it feels like issues related to, it could be racing, but certainly, the noise of these cars and whatnot.
It's their mufflers and like the,
But is it in fact, is there street racing going on, or is that just?
so we've had in the past, we've had issues with takeovers, right? So that has been, knock on wood, find something, but we have not had any issues thus far this year, like meaning since I've taken over in the year, half year now, 6 months that I've been here, that we have not had any of them come to Tampa, at least not in downtown or any of my area, meaning Ybor Channel side and downtown area, which has been great. I know across the river, they've had to deal with it a few times. So they would have them there at Platt Street, basically on the other side of the bridge where the Publix is. They will get on there and then, but luckily they don't come over the bridge this way. They haven't at least. So I know that that was happening at the beginning of the year. And then they started going basically to the industrial areas, like up a little bit further north. And then the county. So they're having to kind of deal with it. And also, I don't know if they're starting to learn that Pinellas County is a little bit, trying to think of the right word, their Pinellas County is a little bit more lenient, than we are. So maybe, that's why they're hanging out there more. Whereas we kind of enforce it if we catch it. The problem is, and that will be the nightmare forever, because when you guys call us to handle it, the car's already gone. So, and it's also a fraction that we have to visually see. So that's, I feel like that's gonna be an ongoing thing. Then I'm still waiting to hear back about Riverwalk Cups, to be able to hold people accountable. So, still working on all that. It's just, you guys are, been doing this long enough, so I don't have to preach to the choir, but it's, it doesn't happen overnight. Change definitely takes time. So, but I am relentless, so I will keep going.
She's awesome.
I'll keep trying.
Great,
So,
thank you.
You guys did a good job, by the way, sort of the sheriff's department this weekend with Gasparilla. I think that it's a fine line between keeping the peace and letting people party and doing what you need to do. So I think overall it felt really safe.
yeah,
I think it was great to see all the folks that you guys had representing Tampa Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, just participating with the crowd and all that.
yeah. It's nice. Listen, we like to have fun too. We don't always want
Trust me, I know some folks in TV. That's not really true.
to.
I'm not gonna name names.
Yeah.
LT 17.
That's right. But, for the most part, we don't, I feel like law enforcement in general, we're human beings too. We want everybody to have a good time and just be respectful of other people. It's like, why do we have to get to the point where we're hitting each other? Why do we have to get to the point where we're obliterated and we don't know where we're at? Can we just have a meeting, So, but yes, it is a lot, especially, get all the other agencies to come help. So it's definitely, we're so appreciative of them. It's crazy. But any other questions that you guys have?
Your homeless liaisons in this area, are they on the street? Or are they bike?
They'll be both. So they are bike certified. They will be in bike uniforms, which we kind of talked about in our meeting, the quarterly meeting. So they'll have the shorts and the more of a polo shirt, not like a traditional law enforcement uniform, which is the polyester, So they will be basically going as of all around, obviously. As of the 18th, we actually have tours set up for them to meet everybody at Salvation Army in Tampa Hope. I've already coordinated with Michelle Boone. So we're definitely gonna, have everybody meet. Everybody's, exchanging contact information. We're creating group chats and stuff so that we can all keep in touch with each other and start, try to help as much as possible.
And will they ride in pairs?
Yes, yeah, so they will ride together. And then if somebody is off, we usually have somebody that's, we still have a downtown unit that is solely focused on downtown, so they always will backfill or back up or whatever the case may be.
So they're in addition to what we
They
already
are in
have.
addition. Yeah, and they're under, my command, so basically I would basically direct them to any complaints that you guys might have or that gets delivered to me. And then I say, hey, I need you to focus on this situation or handle this accordingly.
And I think we talked about this in our quarterly meeting, but are the parks team and other agencies sharing with you hotspots and times so that we can ensure coverage when appropriate, where appropriate?
So I mean, not to brag, we don't really need their, we know what all our hotspots are, we know our area so well, it's 24/7, you know what I mean? So, we know where the spots are, not to mention, I mean, I know what the spots are just from the people that reach out to me, so in driving around, I can name them off the top of my head, right? So, but we've reached out, like I said, we actually just had a meeting with, Signal Security because they said they were gonna be on Riverwalk as well. Which is a great tool to help us out. It's just more eyes and ears, right? If I only have 2 extra people plus people at work here, plus patrol, it's great. But patrol is still dealing with calls going from one thing to another. They might get tied up on a traffic crash or whatever. That might take a little while, things like that. And then, so there's only a few like people that are trying to do a lot of things because there are a lot of things, guys. Like we also have to do a channel side as well, because that's it adds to it. And then I have ABOR people as well. So they're kind of like all trying to help fill in together a nice, beautiful U-shaped gap. So with Riverwalk, if I have extra people, which like the security company that the city contracted out with helps us out. I mean, even if they call us or they can handle a lot of the trust and stuff, contacts, Parks and Rec, things like that. It's just more eyes to help us out.
Oh, you're right. I'm gonna ask Courtney a question. She gets it. Yeah, she fill her to policing money.
So, if you remember, Kenyatta brought up the, downtown partnership wants to do a, pilot program. As you can see from, some of the reactions in the meeting, she got some feedback, so I don't know if they're going to kind of take the, suggestions and maybe, play with it a little bit and kind of alter it and then figure out what to do with how it's gonna work and funding and stuff like that. So,
Can we use our money? We have money set aside for community policing.
Well, I have to talk to you because Owen called me.
all right,
So we might have an approach.
yeah. So we'll figure it out, but
Former captain.
Yep.
Owen.
Right.
the other thing was, and Councilman, or Councilwoman, Hurtak had brought up, the benches, or, Kenyatta had brought up the benches as far as discussing like ones that are not being utilized at all, or ones that are primarily being utilized, by the unhoused, and obviously that did not go over well, so just so you guys are up to date on the reaction for it and stuff like that. We did discuss maybe possibly the shelters, like we could consider something else, because we did have a business, downtown, I guess from what I understand, had backed out or left because of the situation that they were upset with, and it's just constant. So, I think it's worth discussing at the very least, even if it gets rejected, but that's up to you guys, I'm just here to serve.
And Franklin Street specifically.
That was, Marion. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a lot, guys, but like I said, I'm just, I'm here to advocate, so whatever you guys need and things that you guys have concerns about, feel free to reach out. That's obviously, you guys can filter together, but any other questions?
Where are the unhoused individuals going from there? You know that?
So there are different locations, like, THHI is, like one of our biggest contacts that's actually able to house them. Unfortunately, they kind of give us not great news, but, their percentage of obviously funding is starting to go down. They have a certain criteria that it needs, but if a person is housed or unhoused for about a year, they're able to get them in apartments and they have different locations. I do know some in Hillsborough County, but not within the city of Tampa. So I don't know their locations. They don't disclose that to us. But they, they do have places, they're like, sometimes it's not just an apartment, it's like a unit, and then it's like split, meaning like a rooming house, where each room is considered a unit. They try to help out families, obviously full families, that's ideal. We don't.
That's permanent housing that we're talking about.
Yeah,
But are you referring to like overnight or emergency housing?
shelters are different.
Yeah, yes, shelters.
Shelters are different. When these fold nights, we have the county is phenomenal as far as providing fold shelters for us to be able to bring them. Because we can actually filter out to all the counties at that point, but obviously the person has to be willing, right? Yeah, nice.
Signal security, I think that you mentioned that is additional security for the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
I think I have a couple questions in regards to them, but are they, how do you recognize them? Are they dressed a certain way?
Yeah, so they have a polo uniform, it's like a blue color, and they are armed, so not harmless,
Yeah.
but kind of like in Ebor, you guys have a yes team where it's like yellow, bright color and stuff like that. There's more like bright blue. But yes, now that I have everybody meeting everybody, right? Like we're exchanging phone numbers and stuff like that. So yes, we would know who they are. They identify themselves to us to let us know. Hey, we're signal security. I have to give out the information to my officers and let them know. I inundate them with a lot, just so you understand, like, I have to say, hey, we can trespass from these locations. These people have given us authorization, your downtown partnerships, your businesses, things like that. They've given us authorization. We can trespass from the Children's Museum. Yes, I can't trespass them from the park, because that's different. I can't trespass them from, unless a representative ends up telling us, hey, we need to because they're disorderly or whatever the case may be. Ukuleles, things like that, so I let my officers know, hey, these locations are good to go. So if you see them, the business is closed, we can take care of that situation and have them move along from the private businesses as they requested. So I have to also provide that to security so that they know. So we're all communicating. I communicate a lot. I talk a lot too.
Because I was just curious, like, how do they know where their boundaries end, where yours starts? And
Well, they kind of operate on their own as far as what they tell us, hey, we're on Riverwalk, and they're also in the parking lots, the parking garages. So they're at Poe, they're at Fort Brooke, they're at the ones in Ebor, they're in the lots in Ebor as well. So anything that's basically city owned minus the ones that are at Morgan Scott, they're not there. Those we deal with on our own. So, and then I share the information with the officers so that everybody, we all know.
and my final question will be, do they have walkies that are set to your channels, or is it just cell phone?
No, it's just gonna be now. Our department, police stuff is gonna be separated from the security stuff, so no, we won't combine. And I'm pretty sure we don't even have the abilities, or they wouldn't have the abilities to even patch. So, no, it would just be myself. Any other questions? Used to it, guys, don't worry. Well, I always like to touch base at the beginning of the year, so, and we survived a lot so far, so, hopefully we thrive for the rest of the year, that's what I'm looking forward to. And, hopefully we can tackle whatever. So, I'm hopeful. All right.
Can you leave a taser with us, just in case anybody acts up in the meeting?
No.
Pretty well behaved.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about the guests.
Oh, well. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's rules. They have these rules for
You
us.
just can't share.
Yeah, you can't share, I'm sorry. All right, here's this.
Well, thank you for chatting.
Yes, of course. Let me know next time if you want me to follow up on anything. I can always come back, all right?
Okay.
Touch base in a little bit. Take care.
Be safe.
Thank you.
What was her name again?
Lucilia, Emily
Emily.
On.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, but
She's really, like, she's been fantastic
yeah,
to work with.
yeah, she cared.
She's awesome.
Emily,
Emily, E-M-I-L-I-O-N-E, Ucilia, U-C-F-I-L-I-A.
almost.
I do not have Georgia. Courtney, I don't want to take us down a rabbit hole, but on the tracker, why is there two Jackson House things?
One is for the rehabilitation. And another one is for roadway improvements around Jackson House. So one's 1.2 for the roadway improvements around it, and then so that's no roadway, I see it. And they're actually coming next month to present to you guys because downtown CRA or CAC approved the $1 million funding for the rehabilitation probably 3 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And they're coming just as we act as a courtesy to remind the CAC why we funded them $1 million. And they're going to present just an update of where they are today.
Where are they? Why aren't they
They're
doing
gonna
it?
come present.
I know.
They're gonna
Yeah.
come present.
There's just some things they had to work out.
Let's wait for that.
There was easements, there were a lot of things to get them to where they are today to start work. So this is why the timing's right for them to provide you an update, why we're contributing $1 million for that project. So everything's on the project tracker for you. We do have Herman Massey Park. Intended ribbon cutting is March 10th.
Nice.
Yeah, so March 10th. And then the dog parks at Hammond Museum of Art, February 10th.
That's exciting.
I need to send you those appointments. I just remembered.
February 10th.
Herman Mass, I remember being in meetings back when I was in the CAC. You're right, yeah, so that goes back 6 years ago.
2008. when it started.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. The
February
final,
10th is a Tuesday.
but I'll send you those appointments. I forgot to forward them along.
Any other staff or CRA manager reports?
No,
Any new business? Announcements from CAC members? Well, I guess we can adjourn 6:29, 1 minute early.
no. And that how it goes, Nicole.
Well,
Not my first rodeo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have served on EBOAC as well. The Equal Business Opportunity Advisory Council for the city of Tampa. So I've been in some city Tampa meetings a little bit.
Okay,
So.
look forward to you joining us.
who are you with?
October Fest Tampa.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah, we've
right.
done some business together.
I was gonna say, you would have for me.
Yes, yes. It's been a few years.
Is there a conflict of interest here?
Nope.
Bye.
She's helping me with my cup enforcement, so. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Courtney, I was gonna ask you offline, because I didn't want this meeting.
I just want to say the next meeting.